What is up? What is up, Mist Village? You guys came through so crazy hard. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, yeah, my first book out in 4 years. I told you about my journey. You gave me an outpouring of amazing support, telling me that you're glad that I took the time for myself, that you're glad that I got less face on my face because I felt a lot better. But then you guys really just came through the book drop, and it is number 22 on Audible out of every single book they sell. I am speechless. I am blown away. I don't even know what to say. That is insane. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you for everything you guys have done. Thank you for all the times you've walked with me, all the friends that you've told about the AKU, the way, honestly, it just felt like I was taking like a leap of faith, like focusing on my heart, focusing on my health, focusing on my family, focusing on my love. And I didn't know if my career was still going to be here. I gave you the best that I could, and you guys have showed me that the bond that we built is still there, and I'm just humbled. I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's so many more books to come. Like Alpha 2 is like 60 to 80% done. I'm working on the AKU. There's a super secret, awesome, super dope secret project, like two of them actually, that are going to be coming around soon. But just really, like, this, none of this would have ever been possible. I've always been so appreciative of my fans, the Mist Village, you denizens of the Labyrinth and AKU, and wow, oh my gosh, right? This is amazing. Thank you. And some of the reviews are even coming. I can't believe some of you guys listen to it that fast, but I know some people put it on the max speed. But like, the reviews are coming through. Those are very positive. Shout out to my ARC reader. Shout out to my love, Maya. Shout out to my boy, Simon, who's handling all of my marketing. I'm so lucky to have him. Shout out to Patrick at ACX. He was a tireless help and supporter. He was the guy that wrote to me when Book 7 shut down Audible for 4 hours because it was just so big and so many people downloaded. He was like, please tell your fans to stop cussing out our switchboard operators. We are doing the best that we can. Back in the day, I sent him a care package being like, I'm so sorry that happened, and I appreciate you helping to navigate that and to get predators to, please let me not say that, to get the book, The Land Predators, to people. And he remembered me, and when I came back, he's like, oh man, yeah, and he like said that he still had the card that I sent him. And he's been tireless in helping to launch Alpha, and so he's been super great. All right, and I don't know if you guys have checked the dedication. Shout out to Camille Dupree Perez. That's who the book is made out to. He was an amazing guy who I never got to meet face to face, though we FaceTime. And he was at Amazon in my early days. He helped me. He put me in betas. He gave me some more exposure. And he got his dream job at Sony and was like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to miss you, but I'm really happy because he always wanted to make movies. And a couple days later, he was killed by a drunk driver who killed him and his wife, leaving their children. So this book is dedicated to him. And I'm just really grateful, not forgotten, sir. So get it back on a happier note. Shout out to all the Mist Villagers. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping to make all of this possible. Shout out to Brent Roth, wherever you may be. We think he may have passed on, but he helped me when I was very, very new, early in the genre, very new in my career. That's why one of the chapters is dedicated to him. Shout out to Geneva, my ace boon coon, the person that's been in my corner from jump. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Damien, who headed things up back in the day. Shout out to all the mods that tirelessly work to keep the community alive, keep the dreaded trolls at bay, keep it fun. They do it for the love of the game. I mean, they're true dedicants to everything. Shout out to my ARC readers, my beta readers. Shout out to Beetle. Shout out to my family who supported me. Shout out to my mom who didn't kill me when I told her I was going to take a step away from medicine, though I think she had a twinkle in her eye. I'm just so appreciative. I want you guys to know that while, again, I am very, very much in accordance that this was the right choice for me to take a step back, breathing is easier, sleeping is easier, thinking is easier since I am down 83 pounds in the last year. And taking care of my family when a couple of them got sick. COVID was hard for all of us. It was the right choice. I'm just still so grateful that you're here now. I understand any frustration that you had about where the stories are. I'm a true fan of so many things myself, and I know that it's not just a book, it's not just a story, it's not just a TV show, it's not just a movie. It's a personal relationship that's as real as with flesh and blood people. At least that's the way it's felt to me, and that's the way that my characters feel. So I understand. I had to do what I had to do, but I am back on the case. I'm very excited to be writing book 9, Mayhem. I'm very excited to give you guys more alpha, some more God's Eye, some of these secret projects that I'm just, they're almost sneaking out of my lips. I'm just dying to sort of like tell you guys about. But yeah, it's this awesome feeling. I could not believe it as I'm refreshing. In fact, I'm going to do it right now to see like what it is, because like when you get closer to the top of the rankings, it's like one book sold could like shift you around or whatever. So yeah, still holding tight at 22 and 281 in the Kindle store, which is, after 4 years not putting something out, I am insanely humble. And as I always do, let me just start giving some shout outs. Mitch Van Winkle, you've been here. James Cobb, what's up, dude? Kurt Kelly, good to see you. Cigar on the Trail, that's on YouTube. I don't know if I know you, but thank you for being here. James, I hope you do like it. Josh, thank you for listening this morning. And so this is a weird thing. Like, it's dark outside. It's 11:30 at night for me. I actually really like it. Like the fact that like I'm ahead of like US time, it's like I never really feel rushed. I can always sort of connect with people, though it's been kind of a manic thing. I had a lot of energy this morning. I woke up, I went for a 20-mile bike ride, definitely crashed a little bit, went on a boat with my love and her family, and that was really dope. Ate some tomatoes. I don't know. I know you guys are gonna get sick of doing this, but these are some sexy tomatoes. Oh, and I'm supposed to be trained to do this. If you are on a stream, please tag some friends that you want to join you in the land, and tell people about it. I don't. You guys probably on social media better than me, but anyway, the point is I'm back on it. I do not know when Mayhem's coming out, but I do know I'm going to be giving you guys frequent updates. You will not have to wonder. I will be putting up more early chapters and stuff like that. Sort of doing like more giveaways, much more of the space time. This is the new phase. I took my time to hibernate, to get strong, to cultivate in my cave, and now I am here with you guys, and you guys brought alpha to number 22, the third series in AKU, 22. Insane. Wow, that's crazy. I don't even know how many millions or books are sold, but that's number 22. Thank you. Shout out to so many of the other awesome, amazing authors in Lit RPG. I was one of the first. I was not the first. I was one of the first. And when I made the Facebook group, which was the first big social media thing, didn't really know a lot. I didn't even really know if I was really ever going to consider myself an author. I just knew that I loved Lit RPG and I wanted it to grow. And there's been a humble and a bumble and a stomp and a romp, and it's gone back and forth and a bunch of stuff. But there's no denying that the efforts of you fans, of you amazing authors, of you fans who have become authors, of the moderators, of just everyone, it's huge. I don't even know how many books are for sale. I remember when I could count the number of books for sale in the English language like on two hands. And then I could count the number of authors on two hands. And now, even if I include both my hands and my feet, and they're just there, you can't even really count like the number of like series and amazing things and months that it would take to get through all of this, these amazing stories. And you guys did that. You guys were on the ground floor for this movement, and that's awesome, right? So many people have found their voice because they read other people, and then that's gone in generations, where like the next generation was inspired by them, and we're making something, you know. And I personally believe that because I get hope and strength from reading some of these stories. I'm sure some of you do, especially because of some of the emails you send me. We're doing our little bit to make the world a better place while we are just trying to survive it. Because believe me when I tell you, I know life be lifing. But yeah, okay. So let me answer some more of these questions. Crazy man. Why does it YouTube has the craziest like handles? Any progress on the Land Book 9? So yes, like I said, I took a step back. I wrote Alpha because that's where my heart was. I'm super excited about it. It's part of the AKU. It was spawned by the events of the land. But I'm working on Mayhem now. Most of Alpha is already done. I am actually anticipating getting you guys book 2 by the end of this year or like early January. Like 2025, provided all the other things work out, because you know I'm very grateful to Amazon Audible and whatever works best for them too. But I'm working on Mayhem at the same time. I'm actually going back, taking like copious notes, making sure that everything, because it's very interesting, right? Like and I don't know if you guys know, but like the land was this whirlwind. It was this almost like psychological exercise. It was the first steps in me getting to this healthier version of myself. So when I wrote the first one, I did it in like 42 days, 6 weeks from the first time I touched a key to when I published on Amazon. It was 6 weeks. And it was just this whirlwind that I initially had a fear of like, well, how could I ever come up with enough words to fill a whole book? And then I realized it's the opposite. How do I stop? I literally had to look up how long is a fantasy book supposed to be, and they were like 70,000 words, and I was like, well, I'm at 95, so that's the first book. And then the next book came, and the next book, it was like every 2 months. I wrote my first 6 books in 14 months, and then 7, which is, you know, took a year. And then I wrote 2 more books in the next 2 years. And then I took the time away, as you guys know. I've already sort of like covered why. And so I'm having to refamiliarize myself with some of these like stories and some of these characters. It's like breathe fresh life into them, and like they've always lived inside me. I've always thought of them, but it's like as I'm rereading, it's like the colors are deepening, right? And like old ideas and old just like sort of nuances and all the little Easter eggs. And I don't think anybody's caught all of them. They're sort of coming together. But I'm also I'm a different person. I'm a different author. I've definitely matured in how I sort of like handle my thing, which is interesting. I get to be on a panel with Brandon Sanderson, the man, and Jim Butcher, who's obviously amazing once. And I went up to Butcher, and he was like, "Yeah, what's up, kid?" But I was like, "Hey, man, I want to let you know I'm a fan. I know everyone does this to you, but like, I'm happy to be on this panel. That's such an honor. But I also just sort of love your books." And he goes, "Oh yeah, thanks." And I was like, "And I know a lot of people talk about Stormfront, but I actually really love Coda Solera." And he goes, I kind of hate those books." And I'm like, "Seriously?" Because they're awesome, and I've loved them. And he goes, "Yeah, just it's early and didn't really do it." And it just occurred to me that like an author would talk about that, and I still feel nothing like that at all towards my own work. But I understand as you evolve and change as a person, your interpretation of it it's like not liking mushrooms when you're a kid and liking mushrooms now, or it's like rewatching Bill Murray movies now as an adult, and you're like, what the hell was I laughing at as a kid? Because these movies are filthy. Shout out to Bill Murray, but they are just raunchy, filthy things, and it's like, what the hell did I think I was looking at then? So it's exciting to me to sort of rediscover, to relearn, to relive these books myself, and sort of where we're going to go with that. And I'm really excited to share that with you the same way I was excited to share Alpha. And I'm so happy that you guys are resonating with it. Like I was proud of it, and hearing Pavi read it and breathe into it, like it made me even more so. But like I never really knew, like and it's one of honestly, it's again, it's a lot of things that like sort of come down to faith. Like you have to do the nuances. There's the 99% of perspiration, 1% of inspiration. But I didn't really know if it was going to resonate. And that's the advice that I honestly give a lot of new writers, where I'm like, I know it might sound a little pedantic, but they're like, how do I do it? I'm like, write a story that you would want to read, and then just have faith that out of 8 billion people, there's going to be some that are out there that are going to really love what you're doing, that you're going to find your own tribe, right? So all that to say, Crazy Man 8472, I'm working on it, and I'm going to be giving updates, and I really appreciate you being here. So Gary Andrews says, can't wait to listen to Alpha. Bo Baker, I've really appreciated all of your interactions over the last several days. It feels really good. Thank you. Kyle Gumarares, I believe I see you too. And James Cobb says getting this boy hooked on Atlanta. And again, I'm honored by a lot of things and all of your support. But when families can share my books, and there can be like groans and laughs and all the other stuff that family does, that is just so humbling. And just so everybody knows, that my first 5 books are free right now. The Land Bounding through Swarm. So if anybody, and free on ebook. Some people have written me angrily, like, "Where's my free paper books?" And I'm like, I'm not the National Mint. I can't just dole them out like that. So they're free on ebook for anyone any friends that you guys have wanted to bring into the land. They can grab them now, read them whenever, and you can just go to Amazon and they're free. So I hope that you guys will tell some friends about that. Marcus, good thing, Nerthang, Piercy the Fourth. I don't think we've talked before. I think I would remember that also, Dan. I'm so happy that you're loving Alpha. Thank you. Scott Harpin says, Hawaii says hi from Fayette County, Georgia. Because that's, I currently live in Portugal, but I was in Atlanta, not native, but I was there for 25 years. I worked at most of the hospitals in the area. Got to serve a lot of my fellow men and women there, and it will always hold a place in my heart. I miss Chick-fil-A. I really do. So Relic H. Ted, I don't know. You know who I'm talking to. Says, I'm interested. How big of a series are you planning on being? When I was a younger author, I would always sort of do an Abed quote from Community. Still two of the best, one of the best buddy duos of all time, Donald Glover and the guy that played Abed, who I should know his name of because he's also in Mythic Quest, which is one of my current favorite shows. But I would always say like 50 books in a movie, and I think that could still be possible. I mean, I was saying that when I was writing a book every 2 months, so it seemed like light work then. But yeah, like the words are flowing, the creativity's coming, and I would love to have it brought to the screen, obviously. Yeah, I mean, before it gets, let's call it Elf Souls of Shanarid, I would rather it not be made, but I'm very flexible, Netflix. If you're listening, feel free to come at me. But I will tell you that unlike a certain sea captain author who will remain nameless, please, I wrote the ending of the entire AKU before I wrote the first page, because I didn't want it to, I didn't want to just keep going somewhere and then leave people hanging. Even back then, I was before I published my first book, I was aware of the covenant that exists between us, because I felt that with so many other like fandoms. Like, oh my God, what moron at Fox canceled Firefly and kept Fastlane on? I'm still flummoxed by this. Like, what the hell is going on? But anyway, I digress. Fox, we can talk to if you want to make the link. So anyway, moving back forward, I don't know. We'll see. There's several like short stories I plan on coming out with, a bunch of projects. I've actually bequeathed it in my will that if anything happens to me, the ending is released to the world. So do not come for me. Do not come for me. I'm very strong these days. But yeah, so I'm excited to see where it's going to go to. They always ask, are you a pantser or a plotter? That's sort of like when you're asking an author how they create their stuff. A pantster is somebody that flies by the seat of the pants and they just write whatever the hell's going on. A plotter is someone that has everything completely regimented. There's no surprises. They know exactly where the book's gonna, like, every turn it's gonna take and where it's gonna end. And I think most people are somewhere in the middle. For me, the best way to say it is, like, I always kind of know that I'm trying to get from point A to like point B. But as I'm writing it, I realize that it's not a straight line. It's sort of a meandering kind of thing. And as that happens, that's when I feel like brings the authenticity to like my characters and my work, that they feel like people that you can understand and know, that you've hated before, that you've empathized with before. And so I go there, and I will say that, like, even though I always have an idea that I want to go from point A to B to point B, as I'm on the path, if I then get to the point where I'm like, well, actually it's much more honest to get to point C, I do that. And if I have to rework everything, I mean, I rewrote the first book, even though it took me 6 weeks to write The Land Bounding. I rewrote that book, I want to say completely, at least 5 times, because I would be going to sleep and be like, oh my God, no, this is a hot idea. And I would just go and just be like, oh my God, is that daylight again? And honestly, that's still sort of my process. I am putting like mechanisms in place to increase my productivity, and I'm sort of, like I said, I'm in a better place mentally and physically, and it's literally just easier to think now that I've dropped, like, the 80 pounds, and then I'm eating cleaner food and exercising regularly and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just trying to take advantage of that. And this is also part of the reason that I'm doing these lives. I'm on this StreamYard thing, which is, I hope, is going to all these different places. I think it is. I don't really know. I guess I'm going to get some feedback at the end. But yeah, just trying to do these kind of things. Like, the connection with my fans was always, I'll be honest, the creation of the books themselves was the greatest thing that I've gotten from it. Like, the act of creation started me on this journey towards being emotionally and mentally healthy, feeling like there was a real validity, my true calling, the act of creation itself. But a very, very close second, and with no other really close contenders, the thing that I got the most from this is my connection with y'all. And I've missed it. Sometimes it went a little sideways, a little bit because of me, because I felt like I was being trapped. Like, I had to perform, and I stopped being honest to like my own voice, but also just with all the trolls and all this stuff. I just felt like I needed to like detach. It was a little bit much. But oh my God, did I miss this? Just talking to y'all, hearing about your lives, seeing the connections that the Miss Villagers make with themselves in real life. And I don't really talk about this part a lot, but I've gotten no less than 12 emails from people that were saying I was going to commit suicide before I found your books. And there were 1 or 2 that said I was going to do that until I read something in your books and brought my strength. But the vast majority were saying I was going to do that until I found this community and I no longer felt alone. And I get that, because life is hard, and we all need help. All of us. I never would have started writing these books if I hadn't gone to therapy. And even as a medical professional, I had my own like stigma against it. I like it. It was like good, and I was like pouring, but I think I had like a bug up my ass the 4th time. And the guy was like, and I'm going in there and I'm just sort of like this. And he's like, after like 5 minutes, like, man, what's going on? I was like, look, I just want you to know I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. And if I hear that somebody said I was crazy, I'm gonna know who it came from. We're gonna have a problem. And he just looks at me and he goes, Elron, I think you're great. And I was like, damn, oh God, broke me down immediately. And a lot of people, at least how I come up would say that it's like an overshare, sharing that like I've been to therapy. But the reason I do it is to normalize something that should be normal. All you're ever saying, if you ask for help, is that the world is too big for me to carry on my own. Totally acceptable, totally normal. Everybody needs help. And so it's totally okay if you have a hard day and you're not your best today. Wake up tomorrow, keep your chin up, try to do a little bit easier. And if that day is hard too, get some sleep, wake up, keep your chin up, try to do it again. It is okay. It really is. Like, you are not alone. I know that it can feel that way. But it is possible to have a happier tomorrow, and then have a string of them, and then have like, and then have an excitement when you wake up in the morning, right? Have an excitement about the people that you get to interact with. Have an excitement about just like life. And I know how hard it can be. And I know that I have no idea what you were dealing with socially and physically and mentally and economically and all these other things and spiritually. I do not know. I only know my own struggle, but I do know that it is possible to have a better tomorrow. So I hope that that's something that you guys can feel. And I hope that you're in a good place now. And if not, I hope that you get there. And I hope my books have a small part to play in that. And I sort of did an homage that's hidden in this book. Red Fox was a comedian a long time ago, and he would do all these caricatures. And at the end, he would always say something basically like, I hope that in the days to come, my work has brought a smile to your face and a chuckle to your heart. And if I have offended, I apologize. I did not mean to. Making people laugh has been the greatest joy of my life. Thank you. And I saw that when I was a kid and laughed a little bit when I was a kid. And for some reason, he popped into my mind recently, and I rewatched that, and I remembered that sign off. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel. I'm so grateful to you guys. The fact that I can share this act of creation with you guys, the fact that I've been able to touch people's lives on 7 continents, connect with people that I never would have met before. It's so humbling. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not crying. You're crying. Scott Helms, good to see you. Dave Larson, Dwight Davis, Cody Starkey. Joseph Martin, I do agree. My health is important. All of our health is important. Paul Snyder, you are amazing, sir. Good to see you. Derry Hansen has been here forever, and she has this just smiling icon of a face, and I've always appreciated it. I always look forward to seeing you, Derry. It's good to see you. Thank you. Soulless Winter. Yeah, YouTube. I gotta say, YouTube is coming correct with the handles. You guys are the winner. Byron Bush. A lot of jokes that could be made there. I'm sure nobody did. That's a dope name too. I'm into it. Trust me. Kong has not spawned any jokes throughout the years. I will tell you a funny thing. So, like a lot of times, well, I think you guys can see I'm black. So a lot of times there's been things that have happened where I'll like be going to a restaurant and I'll walk up and I'm like, hey, I have an 8 o'clock. And they're like, okay, so King, right? And I'm like, they're not even making a joke. It's just that King is a classically black name. So I'm like, no, it's actually Kong. And they're like, oh, so sorry. I'm like, no big deal, whatever. But the funniest thing that has ever happened is I was working at a hospital in Georgia, and I got a consult from a Dr. Chang. And he was like, oh, is this Dr. Kong? Hi, I've actually seen your name on some charts, and I really good to see you. I have a consult for you. And I was like, no, I'm on my way. I can't wait to get there. And I walk up, and there's not a lot of Asian guys in Georgia. There's some, but like by percentage-wise, there's not. So I go up to him and I see that Asian guy there. I take a chance and I'm like, hi, are you Dr. Chang? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, hey, I'm Dr. Kong. And he goes, oh. And I'm like, you're disappointed. You thought I would look more Asian. And he goes, no. I was like, dude, I get it. I actually am Asian. This is, the black and crack, but like I am Asian. And he goes, oh, that's cool too. And I was like, I know. I eat rice if that helps. And then we had a little chuckle. But yeah, it's anyway. This is part of the knowing me and having the name. People think this is a pen name. No, that's my real name. My name is Alaran Kyomori Koyoshi Kong. That is my actual name. So it's almost like I was destined to write about fireballs and hot elves. So, all right. So. Mitch Van Winkle says, don't start eating tomatoes like Denethor. That was an intense scene, right? I actually think about that. God, that actor is amazing. Anybody hasn't watched Fringe, I don't even know what you're doing watching me. Go watch Fringe. But yeah, he is amazing. Dope. Okay, so Alpha is good so far, says Skylar. Thank you. I appreciate it. Aaron Much, gotta love that. You got the old school Miss Village screen thing. It's like what is it called? It's a ring. Anyway, thank you for rocking and all the support. I appreciate it. Derry, I'm glad you like it. Stalin says, love all your books. Book 9, please. Absolutely, book 9. You guys are excited to see Richter. I'm excited to see Richter. I'm excited to hear Crom, hear how his love affair with Sumiko is going. Did I say that out loud? I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. You know who I kind of miss? I miss my necromancer. I miss my death mage. I miss Bayan, man. I really was having a great time writing him, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. God, wouldn't it be great to see Calder again somewhere? Anyway, okay, so Bo says the plan still book 9 alpha TBD. So definitely it is book 9 alpha, because alpha is mostly 2 is mostly done, right? So I am actively putting time into Mayhem just regularly every day. But what I can promise is not which one's going to come out. What I can promise is frequent and often communication about where I am and just sort of how I'm feeling and just more in my mug. So you won't have to wonder. I definitely haven't given up on the books, as you guys see, because you guys made me number 22 on Audible. The Mist Village did this. Wow. Blown away. Seriously, guys. Like, how can you stand being so awesome? How do we squeeze so much sexy into you people? That's what I don't understand. It's insane. It boggles the mind. I'm so excited. All right, so I'm happy you guys are going to be here. Oh, and so I'm on different modalities right now. I don't know which ones you guys are using. I always did Facebook classically. I'm now on TikTok too, partly because mostly to annoy my niece, who says only old people like you, Uncle Alaron, are on Facebook, and I could not argue with this. But now, Haley, I'm on TikTok. I get to say hi to your friends. Hi. I have pictures of Haley from a very young age. I'm actually going to make some T-shirts and hand them out at her school. So I hope that she enjoys this, because Uncle Alaron doesn't forget. Perfect. All right. So, but anyway, all my links are going to be everywhere. And I'm also on my newsletter and all this other kind of stuff. So however you guys want to reach it, I'm going to try to integrate all this stuff everywhere. But if you have a preferred thing, I hope you follow me there. Oh, and just as a personal beseechment, I'm an independent author. You guys are all I ever needed. You made me the 22nd most popular book in the Western Hemisphere. That's insane. Thank you. So if I could ask just for a little bit more, please leave a review. It means everything. I don't have a big advertising budget for a publishing company. Please leave a review. Please tell some friends. And if you could upvote the reviews that you agree with, it means everything. But already, just by being here, just by connecting, just by sharing your precious time with me, I am humbled and I'm so thankful for all of you. Thank you. All right, some more shout outs. And if you guys have any questions, I would love to do a little bit of that. My mouth is getting dry. That has always been my guiding light for when I got off lives and other things. So we have a little bit of this. But anyway, all right. So Scott Harpins was here. I'm sorry if I missed you. Thank you so much for reading. It is very weird to me. Like, it's like midnight here. It's 4 on the West Coast, 7 on the East Coast. I hope that you guys are enjoying Alpha. Jesse Balzerano, man, that's a ballsy name. I like it. Started the book. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so shout out to Zachariah Belsky, who said the land inspired him to write and narrate his own short lit RPG horror stories on YouTube. I hope that you will share some of those in the group. I mean, the moderators run it. My mods are the law over there, but I made the group to promote other people. So I hope that you talk to them and we can share it around. So Jesse says Nick Podell. So Nick Podell will always be the voice of the land. Nick Podell is a dear friend of mine. He's an awesome dude, and I was lucky to meet him, luckier to work with him, and luckiest that we can actually be friends. So as long as he is always up for it, he will always be the voice of the land, and always. But I've always said that, you put like the right people together, and you're going to get something better than the sum of its parts. Anybody that's ever worked on a team also knows if you put the wrong dude on there, it's just a hot mess. Like it's a mess that you've applied fire to, and then the mess is everywhere. But that is not the case, obviously, with Nick, not the case with Luke, not the case with Pavi. Each of them have their own style, and sharing my energy with theirs, right? We come up with something specific and new. While, I've said forever, I think Nick is the bee's knees, is the best. He and I have certain types of energy, and they can get better and better and better, but it moves in a certain direction. Working with Pavi was a new kind of energy, and I'm just so lucky to have worked with him too. He's amazing. He's a different style, a different approach, but was a consummate professional. Was very patient with me in all my mini edits, and I'm just so thankful that I got to work with him. And I just look forward to working with him again for many years to come too. So, JD Glasscock says, killing it, took the number of Dungeons and Dragons category from me. Oh, well, I'm sure it'll go back to you very soon, but thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Is Rumi ever going to get to see his nephew James again? Okay, so I'm going to reinstitute this, though it's been years. Anyone that asks for spoilers, everyone gets to throw shrapnel popcorn at that guy. So duck and cover, Dave. No spoilers. But I do love when people ask for spoilers so that I can then mobilize people to throw shrapnel popcorn at people. So I appreciate that too. Yeah. So what else is going on? All right. So updates. All 5 of my first books are free right now. If you have any friends that you wanted to join you in the land, you could just tell them to head over to Amazon, tag them, send them wherever. Totally free. The ebooks, again, cannot give away a bunch of free books on Amazon. I don't give them free. I'm not there shaving little pieces of wood off and then making my own graphite. So, but also, amazingly enough, Alpha came out today, the 10th book in the AKU, and you guys made it number 22 on Audible. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you. All right, so it looks like I may have almost caught up with the comments, so I'm going to roll out soon. I do really, really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I didn't know if you guys are going to be here after 4 years. I didn't know how this was going to work. I didn't even know if the words were going to flow the way they did. But I'm so proud of the book. I'm so proud to be your writer. And I'm proud of this community that we have all helped build. And excited for where it's going to go. We've raised over $250,000 for various charities. There are babies alive because the Miss Village came together to help fund in vitro efforts. There are people alive because when someone had a hard time, other Miss Villages were like, here's my number. Please give me a call. I will talk to you right now. The world is a crazy, horrible, wonderful, inspiring, detrimental, infinite possibility kind of place. And I'm very proud to be part of a community that's trying to focus on the good, not demonizing the bad, but willing to stand up to it. I wrote this Miss Village wanting to create a world that I would hope maybe one day we survive long enough to get to, and you guys are making it happen now. Like, that's insane. I take a lot of pride in being the initial catalyst, but you guys are the ones making it happen, and I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to get out of here in a little bit. Let me see if I can say what's going on. Adam Powell agrees. I mean, yeah, Fox, what are they doing? Just canceling the best stuff. Okay, so I talked about Firefly about 15 minutes ago, so I am clearly not caught up. I'm going to get out of here. You guys are amazing. I really, really appreciate you. I'm honored to be here with you. You guys are going to see this ugly mug way more. And yeah, we're going to be doing, so me and my boy Simon, we have a bunch of like fun things. If you haven't really checked it out, I really recommend just like scanning through some of like the recent Facebook page. They're not just about like alpha. Like there's like some fun songs, and there's also a manga that I've made for book 1 of The Land that I given away for free on litrpg.com. That's like my website. If you guys are into that, you can check that out. We have more music coming out that is going to be like several other people we've commissioned. I'm having a bunch of new artists make illustrations. There's just a bunch of stuff that we've been sort of like getting together that I'm excited to share with you now. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I appreciate you. You're awesome. It is okay if you're having a hard day. Please have hope that it can get better tomorrow. You're not alone. You really aren't. I appreciate you. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. It's midnight. As always, peace, love, and prayer from Margarita.